Welcome everybody to week 4 of the World Doom League Summer 2020 season. I'm Xenaero and I'm kind of casting alone right now. My co-host KBlair is off practicing with his team, the Superchargers, so I will be running through the introduction by myself, but welcome to the first matchup we'll have for week 4 between Blésq, Blom and the Boomstick Warriors. Now we'll do a little switch over to, if I can figure out my new setup. There we are. We'll go over the week 3 results. Now we saw Best Ever take a resounding victory that keeps him at number 1 in the stands for the season so far. Only 2 weeks worth of games remain. They won 2-0 over Ties Only Fans, and Rip and Tear won 2-0 over the Superchargers, Boomstick Warriors 2-1 over the Sexual Panthers, Steel Ball Runners 2-0 over Blésq Blom, and Giant Pea Shooters losing in a 2-0 rout to the Demon Slayers. Now, the standings as they look right now are still very competitive. I am not sure as of the current moment if Best Ever has secured their number 1 seed in the playoffs. As a whole variety of matches can happen that can upset the scale of things. Even the Giant Pea Shooters with 0 points right now still have the potential to make a playoff run, but it is against all the other teams currently unlikely. But that is not to say that any team right now is counted out. Back over to look over the current roster. Blésq Blom against the Boomstick Warriors. Right now, the betting odds are tied. As of a couple hours ago when we last looked up the odds. It's 1-1 in our Discord where we have a betting bot that you can just throw in a whole bunch of little fun bucks in, and kind of accumulate your own little stash to bet in on teams as the weeks progress. Now the current map is kind of an interesting one. Is a new map from Chaos Core, a map that has not actually seen any regulation play. Chaos Core 30 presents kind of an interesting challenge for a lot of teams. It's a very wide open map. It's very resemblant to the map we had in week 2, where there is a soul sphere in the middle that will be hotly contested and can be used for both offense and defense because the bases are quite open. There's a lot to work with for both runners and defenders, and mid-play is difficult to secure with 2 raised platforms, 1 on each side. There is a green armor to contest in each base that will grant a 1/3 damage reduction. It can be pivotal if you grab the sphere as a runner and drop into the armor side of the base. That armor will help you bring you to 100, maybe 100 armor points and maybe 200 health if you time it all correctly. On the way out of the base, there will be a lift that we can take a look at that has been a favorite of teams to use in practice this week. There are no super shotgun spawns, the key favorite weapon for most Doom players. There are 4 spawns in a base total, a tough jump across between the mid platforms, and with proper support, it is easy for the runners to burn. Now, Blésq Blom, led by Infer, are coming off a loss in week 3 to the Steel Ball Runners. In a little under 15 minutes, SBR were able to send BQB off, scoring 10 flags against their 2. They were able to put them on the back foot relatively quickly. Now, can BQB... are they going to be able to bring back that cohesion that they need in week 4? It was a extremely crushing game for them, but hopefully revealing. Sometimes you have to burn it away to rebuild it back up. Infer with 1 capture being a pickup capture off of 14 touches. Infer wasn't able to get it done against the Steel Ball Runners last week. However, being a former WDL champion, he should find no problem seeing the changes needed to his game. Having been the whole way, knowing what works, what doesn't, is pivotal in a big changeup. Stark played a defensive role last week, but wasn't able to turn the tide. Will he stick to defense? Stark is the wild card of Blésq Blom. His performance dictates the teams. Cartel, the primary runner last week, he was unable to convert any of his 32 touches and 4 pickup touches into captures. The support just wasn't there. SBR kind of had the whole map on lockdown. He will need help from mid and his defender to convert those into captures this week, because this map is very support dependent, I should say. You will not be able to get across mid very easily or even out of the base with the onslaught of spawns around you. The weapons you do spawn with in this map they're more favorable to range. Shotgun and chain gun, you can pepper away at players from a much more significant distance than the point-blank super shotgun. So that is one thing to keep in mind as a defender and as a runner. Moving over to the Boomstick Warriors, they're coming off a huge win last week, taking care of the Sexual Panthers in 3 rounds. Scoring 12 flags, TBW seemed comfortable on a map with skill jumps and scoring multiple avenues. They were able to control a whole bunch of different routes for their runner, and that proved pivotal. They did not change their lineup. They did not change their positions. They stuck with their guns, and they were able to refine their play. And that may be pivotal in a map like this, which is very complex in the routes you can take, the timings, and the control. Devastation, the captain of the Boomstick Warriors, played a defensive mid-role last week, racking up 1 cap and 18,000 damage, helping his team just purge enemies from his base. It was Dev against the world. In week 2, we saw Devastation play an offensive role. Now, we bring up week 2 because this map is similar. For those just tuning in, week 4's map flows in a similar way to week 2, with a sphere in the middle and a pivotal control point of the map, multiple routes in and out of the base, and a mid that will require support from the rest of the team to get away unscathed. Azriel, with 1 pickup capture and top flag defenses in the server, TBW star rookie, played a defensive role last week. Can he continue his reign onto week 4? Azriel, as we've seen, was mostly a runner, but he was put back on defense last week. Good practice to play a multitude of roles, as many players tend to do in a league like this. J Warrior with 10 captures. Last week, he supplied a majority of the offense. Now, J Warrior is a strong fragger and very astute runner. Is it possible to continue the domination on a map similar to week 2? Well, only time will tell, and I am joined with my co-host, KBlair. How are you?
Hey, what's up, Zoomers and Xenaero? I lost track of time a little bit there, but I am here and ready for some Doom.
Ready for some Doom. Now, we kind of ran through both teams and the map a little bit. We'll also show the map in greater detail when we get into the server here in a moment. Now, are the betting odds still even? Now, that detail was a little dated. I didn't update it since the notes were written.
So, yeah, they are not updated. I can get them for you right now.
And we actually have
Let's
the
see.
odds in the chat, thanks to Rakos. BQB week 4 decimal odds 2.58. Implied odds 39%. Bet for 10,449. Bet against 16,549, meaning that TBW is the favorite going into this week's match. Blair, what is your take on this?
So, my prediction, we just played against Blésq Blom, and they are absolutely insane on this map. Like no holds barred. They're just, oh my god, they just know everything that has to be going on this map. So I'm gonna say they take it in 2 rounds.
Now, that's a pretty bold prediction. They're going to take it in 2 rounds. I think TBW might take it in 3, kind of building off their tiebreaker round last week. But we'll switch over to... As soon as I switch the input, because I just don't have my act together with this one. But, let's see here. That button will let us get in the game and show off the map a little bit. We have a couple teams practicing right now. And this podium right here is where most of the action in mid happens. That is the Soul Sphere respawn podium. 30 seconds between spawns after it's taken. It's not dependent on the health of the person who picked it up, unlike Quake. This lift right here is a pretty pivotal runner route. We've seen a couple runners drop down here and trigger the lift, as we're seeing live on screen. And some runners make it, some don't, unfortunately. And I have the wrong graphic up. Let's the Alt tab and fix that again. Oh, that game was supposed to be our first matchup, so I actually had the wrong one queued up. Thanks for the notification on that one. There we are. And thanks for the follow on that. Hope you're enjoying the Doom broadcast. We're waiting on the match to begin. BQB is in the server. TBW is also here and ready to play. Now, and also thank you for the support. Awesome of you to do. Right hand man with a Twitch Prime sub. Now, we're going to run a quick ad before the game begins. So, subscriptions bypass that Twitch forced ad thing that we kind of have to run tactically behind the scenes. So for those of you on mobile, unfortunately, you'll see an ad before the game begins, and we'll get into that here in just a second. But for those of you who are subbed, you will not be seeing that ad. It's just how Twitch works, just how Amazon works. I can't do anything about it. I'm sorry. If I could give you ad-free viewing all the time, I would. But Doom is owned by Amazon. That's a fact, isn't it? So, both teams, TBW and BQB, ready to play. Kind of coasting around the map. I kind of stopped giving you a little tour of the map. There is a super shotgun here on this side, and also on the upper side of the... We call it lift side on either base. Now we're getting a call boat restart, so we'll get a little bit more information as we watch the players and their lineups slug it out in the first official game for week 4. Lots of predictions going out in the spectator chat in the game. And the match will be live. Starting off watching TBW's own Godlike, taking an upper route, grabbing the super shotgun, looking for the first touch of the game. The result is not very good. Both runners dropped in the mouth of their own base. But Desparrow, with a debut game this season, seeing if he might be able to drop it below that fake floor, and that is the first capture. Desparrow, 1 touch, 1 run, 1 point on the board for BQB. Infer also out again with a back-to-back touch, playing it safe in the base. J-Warrior with the first run out of the base for TBW, getting some support from his team, also a body block. Little shoulder rub, can't seem to make it into his base, dropped down by 2 members of BQB. Infer also losing the flag. J-Warrior with a touch. We got a touch from Desparrow, who's facing down 1 defender. It was enough. Godlike wasn't enough to get out of the base with 5 health. Now that in that lower middle corridor, there is a fake bridge above. If you die on that bridge, you drop the flag below. Godlike grabbed the armor, looking for a run of his own. Desparrow with 5 health. Not much of a prayer to get out of the base there. Desparrow's first game, I believe, this season, Blair.
Yep, that is his first game this season, so... And already with 1 cap.
Looking to support Infer as he gets out of base, but it wasn't quick enough to pick up. Cartel playing kind of a mid-defensive route, listening for that drop-down sound of the Marine. Gets a grazing shot, and it was good enough to return on the second shot. I like looking for another run. Not much luck getting out of the base. Did not opt to fight the defender. Despero himself, ignoring a conflict unless he absolutely has to, gets that frag on the teleporter. A little wall run out of the base. He's safely in the base. A self-defend, return, and score from Despero, proving that a late season debut might be a game changer. J-Warrior trying to get out of the base himself. Many players opting to leave through the middle passageway, looking for that mid-support. Not a whole lot of runs up top. Or even out the armor side. But J-Warrior says, no, you know what, I'll run out the armor side. Looking around for people. Grabbing that health kit. Looking to drop the flag under the bridge, but he opts to go upper, and it doesn't work out for him. J-Warrior with a touch again, but now Despero is in the base. Fighting multiple defender spawns, takes the teleporter out. Gets one defender, but they keep spawning all around him. J-Warrior looking to get out with the BQB flag, but gets gunned down. Despero out to mid again with 41 health, taking that upper route, and the wall run helps him get out of range of TBW's guns. This running route is working very well for Despero. And we heard Blair talk about him playing against Blésq Blom and how aware they were of the map. That seems to be panning out for them pretty well, with Despero able to secure multiple flags and encounter relatively little pushback from TBW on the way out to mid. Despero trying to get out to mid again. SR50, not enough speed. Godlike now. Just not enough support there. BQB dominating that mid coverage.
Yeah, pretty surprising start so far.
Despero with armor and health. He's got just being watched by one defender.
Oh, he made the jump.
Oh, makes a jump up to the from armor up to that upper ledge.
Wow. And
that is a tricky jump to do. Glad we caught that on camera, because very few players have been able to do that in an actual game. But clearly Despero says, I will not be stopped. With another touch. 2 health, not a whole lot to work with. Gets a couple potions. Up to 4 now. Doubles his health. Now, just not enough health to survive that last super shotgun blast. And J-War grabbed the flag in response. Was able to make it out past mid. And score 1 for TBW. Godlike, looking to make a touch of his own. Infer has the flag in the blue base. Looking to get out. Playing the angles with the rockets. Looking for people below. Clears out. 1, 2, 3. Returns the flag. And they are on their way to round 2 with a 5-1 victory. Pretty decisive route at the hands of Despero's clever running and the domination of mid from the rotation of Infer and Cartel. Showing how important it is to switch off positions and make sure that there is always that pressure. Now, Dev's team is on the back foot. He's making a run himself. Azrael is in for Godlike. And we're seeing Dev lose the flag at the mouth of his own base. Despero under fire. Blue flag has been dropped and picked up by Infer with 37 health, and it is enough to get back into his base with that forward spawn.
Nasty double kill.
With a nice double kill, and BQB looking for that carrier. Where's the carrier? Out to mid. Infer chasing, and it wasn't enough. That pickup was very well placed from J-Warrior. Flag has been returned through a teleporter frenzy, and they have tied it up 1-1. Infer looking for a cap back, and it works 2-1. BQB saying, oh, you're going to capture one? Alright, we'll answer. And the mid coverage was just there for Despero, who wall run past whoever was below him, and the coverage was where it needed to be. J-Warrior with the backwards teleporter trick to kill his chaser. Gets body blocked a little bit by his teammate, but that's fine. Now we got it. Now we got a Cubby. Oh, nice defense, pickup, and capture. Body blocking the runner from his own flag.
Oof.
It's very spicy in here. For those just tuning in, BQB is up by 1 round, putting TBW on the back foot. Xenaero with another successful run, 4-2. This game is turning into a very quick rout. I believe, Blair, this might be one of our shortest broadcasts ever. If this pace keeps up, we're only 2 minutes into round 2.
Yeah, this is gonna be incredible if this ends shortly.
Infer with TBW's flag. Going out upper, but he's chased and shot from below. It's dropped up top. Nice coverage from Infer as Xenaero picks it back up. The Watchman dropped, allowing Xenaero's debut to be completely unanswered. That was a rout. And Blair, I think this was the first time we've ever had one of the casters' predictions be correct.
Yeah. Man, I just trust what I saw, and man, what I saw is exactly what I experienced.
So
Like,
that
they're
means, wow, that was a disgustingly powerful route from Blésq Blom to take it 2-0 over Boomstick Warriors. So that is that probably rounds out one of our shortest casts so far this season. But that was a blistering coverage of pretty much only red team. But for those who are hungry for more Capture the Flag, we will be watching Demon Slayers and Steel Ball Runners in a couple hours. Shout out to Dime for showing up, let's see, 20 minutes after both rounds begin, and we just, I mean, it was so fast. Dime, you blink, you miss it. But hopefully we'll get, is Stacks being run right now, Blair, or is somebody else doing it? Do you know?
I am not doing it. I can tell you that. I can.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to run through the stacks real quick because that was such a nasty route, and I want to look at Xenaero's stacks. Who, before we go into it further, I think that would have to be my MVP pick of this game. That's a prompt for Blair to pick his MVP.
Yeah. Oh, look, Ralph has the stats up.
Ooh, give me those stacks. There it is in the chat for everyone else who's waiting on that. For those of you new to WDO, we have a new stacks backend where we can run the game logs and compile a little picture of what happened in the game. If you happen to miss it, we have that for every game all season long. Now, going through this, Xenaero with 7 points, 5 captures, 2 pickup captures, just 15 touches for a capture percentage of 41.18. That's impressive. Not much in the way of damage or frags for both teams, honestly, with how quick those games ended. I mean, round 1 was only 5 minutes, 13 seconds, and round 2 was 2 minutes, 16 seconds. It was pretty, I'm not sure we've had a regulation season that quick. A regulation game that quick. The only other big shoutouts are J-Warrior with 3 points to his name. They're all pickup captures, showing that TBW did get some points in when it mattered. Daisy chaining it across the field in the face of Blésq Blom's powerful might. For the rest of the roster, not a whole lot to talk about. No player hit 100% KD, but everyone on Blésq Blom hit over 100% in their kill death ratio. It was a very decisive control of mid, and the coverage for Disparel and Infer coming out was impressive. We saw a couple of good runs from Disparel that might be informative to the teams coming up this week. For those who will be around in a couple hours, we're going to be doing the Demon Slayers and Steel Ball Runners at 9 p.m. Eastern. But for right now, we'll be doing. This was quite a short little broadcast here. Thanks for tuning in for about 30 minutes. Shout out to Right Hand Man for the follow and the Twitch Prime sub. You're awesome. All support is welcomed as we this is the first season we are doing these broadcasts, and they're working out pretty well. We're fine tuning it as we go along. And big shout out to all of you lovely doomers for showing up for this little mini broadcast. We're looking forward to the game tonight and tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll be looking at Sexual Panthers and Superchargers. The game between Best Ever and Rip and Tear that was supposed to happen last night was postponed. We're thinking it might happen Sunday night, but we don't know yet for sure. So we're looking at 3 more games we're going to be casting throughout the weekend. You can look at all the pending times right here on this link, doomleague.org/schedule. And if you missed any games so far, or you're curious about how the games progressed over the season, the bottom link in that Nightbot chat blurb is leading you to the WDL YouTube, where we upload all of our previous casts. But for right now, we'll be playing you out. Thanks for coming in, Blair, for the very short game we had. Congratulations to BQB for a 2-0 victory, putting them in a pretty good spot for playoff contention here.
Yeah, that's gonna make their playoff picture a lot better.
But for right now, boys and girls, Marines and Demons, we'll be playing you out with the WDL theme, and we'll see you again in only a couple hours.